Welcome to the Turtle Club. 20 years!
Let's go! 20 years!
Your audio just peaked so bad.
I got an air horn.
Yeah, so at the time of recording this, everyone, it is the 20th anniversary, August 2nd.
Let's go!
This is it, boys. We did it. 20 years. I also got a whistle.
Just for this occasion.
Yeah, we have a guest for this episode too.
Hell yeah.
Our guest is a friend of mine. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. Hi, I'm Sydney. I am Michael's fiance's girlfriend, and I've watched Master Disguise 10 times, I think.
10
What?
times.
Wow, 10 times.
Damn. Oh yeah, we
That's
should probably
almost
do that. Hi everyone, my name is Eli. I have seen the Master Disguise 54 times.
All right. My name is Dave. I am up to 41 watches.
My name is Michael, and I've watched it 85 times.
I
God.
love to hear how much you slowed down, Michael, because do you remember last month you were talking about, it's like, yeah, I
we can
might
get
watch
into
it
that.
every day in July as well.
Okay,
Yeah, why
we
not?
can get into that if we want to get into that right now. I was going to say that, but I think it's important. After some reflection that night, I was on a high of my completion of the month, but I think our previous guest, Alan, was trying to take advantage of me. I think he
You think
saw...
you're being manipulated?
I think he was trying to manipulate me, and after some reflection, I realized I don't want to do that. It turned July 1st, and I was like, all right, let's put it on. And then I just thought to myself, no, I won't.
No, I am so proud of you. You made such a wonderful
Seriously.
big step today. Well, last month.
And and I think Alan is not a friend of the show anymore. I think he was manipulative, and
wow, you're really going to
I have some
out the
beef
guy
with
like that?
Alan. I'm going to be honest. I have a little bit of beef with him.
Yeah, you hear that, Alan? You hear that? I know he's listening. So listen here, Alan. We're
Yeah,
pissed at
Alan.
you, buddy.
Love you.
Your cat in a hat. And
Yeah.
by the way, we're going to be on his show next month.
Yeah.
Can't wait, bud.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Michael, if you get manipulated, that's like on you.
Yeah.
But
it's
no,
like
it was
lame.
just Sydney. That's a good point, because it's like I was just feeling like the high of the completion, and like I could do this forever. But it's not what I really wanted. And
No, I'm so happy for you. I was never in support of it.
and July in general was just like a really crazy month for me. So I don't even think I could have had time to do it. So I'm just very glad that I only watched it, I think, 5 times or 4 times.
Well, I honestly, on behalf of everyone on the Turtle Club, in the Turtle Club, I speak on all of their behalves. Good for you, bud.
Thank you.
You did
Yeah.
it. You did the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good for you. I was
Now-
actually nervous.
What's so Sydney? What is your history with the Master Disguise?
Had you heard about it before I told you about this, or?
No, I'd never heard about it. I have only heard the turtle scene reference once in my entire
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And even then, I didn't understand the context. And then I saw that Michael kept logging the Master of Disguise on his letterbox repeatedly. So I asked him why he kept watching it.
I would like to point out Sydney is one of the few people I have told about this podcast.
I was literally just about to say, because that's a little surprising, because Michael, out of all of us, is the most embarrassed to share the fact that
I'm
he's
so
on this
embarrassed
show.
about this.
Wait,
I am so
what?
embarrassed.
What do you mean?
I don't tell people about this. It's so embarrassing.
Oh,
Yeah.
bud. I'll tell people.
No,
Family,
like-
don't
my
worry.
parents, no one in my family knows about it. Yeah, it was.
No,
It was.
when I was in Columbus with you guys last time, I kind of said something about the podcast, but no one really heard me. And then Emily was like, "They don't know about it." I was like, "Oh."
My sister and brother-in-law were around, and I nudged, oh, stop.
Wait,
don't
your
say that.
sister doesn't even know?
I don't think she does.
And they're neighbors.
What
Yeah,
the
we're
You guys
hell?
live across the street from each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
Keeping secrets.
Yeah, this is something in my life I don't really want to share. Eli once asked me this month, and we decided to wait to talk about it. Would I rather be thought of, or would I rather be caught watching like disgusting porn or caught watching this movie by someone who doesn't know about it? And I think the porn.
Wow. Now,
Okay, I think my specific question though is your fiance. Would you?
Yeah.
Because would you rather she catch you watching just like awful, disgusting, depraved pornography, or Master Disguise? Which would she more be upset with you about?
yeah.
Okay, how depraved is the pornography? Like, is it like
It's
weird
legal.
BDSM? It's legal, but like weird BDSM urination.
Sure,
poop
I don't know.
shit?
Just imagine the weirdest thing that you could think of that's legal.
Now think like Hellraiser, but with like a lot more pee.
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay. So I think she's used to me watching the movie, but every time she catches me watching it, she's like, "Are you seriously watching this?" But, and then she's like, "You don't have to do this." I'm like, "I literally have to," and she doesn't understand. But the
She doesn't
porn,
get it.
Bro.
the porn, I feel like she'd be less like mad about and more like, I don't know.
There would be a conversation.
There would be a conversation, but I think she would end up being less disappointed in me.
Well, no. Once we had this conversation, and you said we need to talk about this on the podcast, I really started thinking about it because my wife also like she hates when she walks into the room and catches me watching Master Disguise. Like I try to do it when she's not around because of how much she hates it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's me doing like a service to her. I'm not like hiding it out of shame. I'm more hiding it like to be nice to her. It's more of a polite thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I'd much rather be caught watching Master Disguise.
I think so. I mean, like, genuinely yes, but I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, look,
I don't know.
Master of Disguise, you can kind of play it off as a joke, but I can't really,
It's not a
mute
joke anymore,
I can't
though.
really mute
It's
the
not
horse in the video that fast.
No, I said legal.
Oh, never mind, skip me.
I don't know. Like, I feel like since I've watched it 85 times now, like there's no like playing it off as a joke anymore. This is just like mental illness.
Yeah,
point.
this is just an issue
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah, okay, speaking of, how's everyone doing? Like, psych check, wellness check. How we doing, boys?
I'm actually doing pretty great. I kind of turned a corner.
No, you didn't.
I did, actually.
I was. How many viewings are you at?
I'm at 41.
See, right around the early 40s were one of my better times as well, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I was in a
know,
pretty okay place then.
It's just. It's not even a movie anymore, man. It's just,
No, I'm with you on that. So, Sydney, you listened to this podcast all the way through. Is that correct?
Yes, but that doesn't really mean I like absorbed everything. I was just kind of like
I mean,
in the
that is
car while it was
more than
playing.
most people have done.
I think it's difficult to absorb what we talk about. I think a big flaw with us is that we like. It's hard to like not realize that like people haven't seen this movie as many times as we have.
And well, no, and
Not
I
even
I think
close.
it would just be a waste of time for us to try to catch people up.
It's impossible. It's just
Yeah.
Like, there's some required reading for this podcast.
Sydney, do you think you're gonna watch? Sydney, do you think you're gonna watch this movie again?
I'm not really sure because like at some point I kind of felt like my mind was melting, and then
Yeah.
I kind of realized
yeah.
this could be like a form of like enhanced interrogation.
Yeah, that's fair.
But at the same time, I haven't watched it as much as you guys have, obviously. So I
10 times
I
is
don't
a
think I
lot.
have like, I don't think I have the same like permanent lasting effect of this movie. But I don't think I'm gonna watch it anytime soon.
I really try not to downplay our guest viewings because one of my most miserable viewings this whole year was my 6th viewing, and that was like the 2nd episode.
Yeah, no, it's just like
Yeah,
I don't know.
The early ones are hard to get past because it feels like it's kind of a huge hump.
Like once
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
like start, it's got that snowball effect where like the first few pushes are like the hardest, but then like it starts rolling on its own, and now I'm just kind of along for the ride, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
Like, it's still
I'll get
awful.
into it. Yeah, I was gonna say I can get into it later about why like my mind was melting, but for me it was like actually towards like after like the first 5 viewings is when I started kind of like panicking a little bit.
So all 10 of them were they all like this last month?
No.
No, so that's why I say I think it's 10 because I think I actually watched it a couple times
Yeah.
before and I just didn't log them because I just track how many times I watched it through Letterboxd. But I watched it once in January when Michael finally told me about the podcast. And then I remember I watched it twice with one of my friends because I was trying to explain to him how bad this movie was. So we ended up watching it in like I think March and April or something together whenever I visited him, and then I think there was like another 1 or 2 times I did watch it. But like because I have like vague memories of watching the movie in different locations, but I can't really say for sure what exactly was happening.
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of like 10 years on, I'm gonna look back at this year and I'm just gonna like all my mememories are just gonna be Master of Disguise related.
PTSD based flashbacks.
Like the space in my brain that 2022 will occupy will just be a big like guy Dana Carvey in a turtle suit.
Right. So it's like how like most people remember like 2020 with like COVID and everything. Like it's for us 2022 is gonna be like a cherry pie, man.
No, honestly, it's ridiculous. But anyway, let's get into notes. I'm going first this month.
Yes.
I've got some things here. So I watched it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Yeah, 7 times this month. More than I have the last few months. Like, I don't know. I was feeling kind of like with it a little bit. Like I watched it twice just today. It's still it's way worse than it was the last couple months. If you guys remember, the last couple months I've actually been doing okay. Yeah. This month it's been hard. I don't buddy. I'm you know that feeling where it's like I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Yeah. That's even worse though.
Like yeah, this movie constantly is just disappointing me with like what it's doing to my brain and like my body and just
and then also like to add to that, like we've seen this movie enough times now that like I know everything about this movie. I feel like I don't like when I'm watching, I'm not noticing new things really anymore. Every once in a while I'll catch something minor, but like there's nothing to surprise me anymore. It's like I'm so like it's just like that. I think that's what you mean. Like I get that disappointed too. It's like what am I even doing this for?
Like this is no longer fun. Like before, like at the beginning of this, in a way, it was a lot of fun because I felt like I was discovering a new world. I'm Magellan,
and you can create one. You know,
like it was a lot of fun. But now it's just like not very good. It's just a bad experience. I did do something this month. So I didn't do any very specific gimmicks for watches, but I did do a gimmick for this entire month. I mentioned last month that I had gotten a new job and that I had watched Master Disguise I think twice on the clock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I made it a challenge for myself to only watch Master Disguise on the clock this month. And calculate just how much money I can get paid to watch Master of Disguise.
How much money did you get
paid?
I came up at around I rounded up a little bit, but around $250.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No, it's pretty good. Pretty good, let me tell you. It's today was even especially risky. I watched it twice today at work.
Wow.
And, it was pretty big deal. So that was sort of my challenge for myself, just to see
next
what
month
I could...
Eli's gonna get in here and say he got fired for watching.
I was like, guys, they found the podcast. They're huge fans, but I got fired. They're sponsoring us now.
They fired me so I could watch it more.
Now my new job description is watching Master Disguise 5 times a day. I hate it. Okay, you know that okay. If you were offered, let's say $60,000 a year to watch Master Disguise 4 times a day, 5 days a week,
Okay, well,
5 days a week.
Does that include credits, or can I just do 72 minutes?
What doesn't it have to include credits?
Okay, so then that's 5 hours a day, which is shorter than like a 9 to 5. 60K.
Would I get paid all at once, or like does it
Is
at
it
like
paycheck?
the end of it?
It's like a salary. You get paid like once
a
a month,
paycheck.
let's say.
Yeah. Yeah, I would do that.
I would do that. Yeah.
What
I don't
about
think I
6 times a
could.
day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what if you also had to like fill out a paper about it after every viewing?
How long?
Like just like a 1-page like questionnaire.
Yeah, I would do it. Because that's like a significant pay raise for me, unfortunately. So
I would do 5 and the survey. I would do that.
Yeah, no, I definitely would, but I think I would hate my job.
Sid, would you do it?
No.
Oh, come on.
I
60K?
Well, okay, so I like the pay for, like, I guess you call it, like, the labor I'm doing, but at the same time, I think I would psychologically break maybe 6 months in.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so that's another question. Is it a contract? Like, do I have to do it for a year, or do I?
Yeah, let's say it's a year.
I have to do it for a year.
What's
and
the
you
penalty
watch
if
it
you miss?
5 times a day, 5 days a week.
Can I?
Do you
pick
get,
the
like,
days?
bank holidays off?
Yeah. Can I get like a
Yeah, you can
President's Day or
pick
something?
you can pick the days. It's just like, let's say it's like a Monday through Friday type deal.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Still, yeah.
Yeah, I would,
Maybe.
but I think I would be miserable by the end of it.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I'd be miserable basically right away. But for that pay, yes.
Okay, so then another question: does it am I allowed to have my phone or like my Switch with me?
No.
Okay, can I like exercise while I do it? Like, can I walk on a treadmill? Can I?
Yes.
Okay. Can I?
Yeah, still yeah.
Say if I have it like I'm making dinner and it's on in the background.
No.
Damn.
Okay, so I have to just keep my eyes on the
You have to watch it.
right.
Oh, it has like a sensor, so like it just pauses when you look away.
Well,
Right,
let's say you're
yeah.
like let's say to make it even weirder, you're in like an office setting.
Oh.
Everyone is doing it around me. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, just cubicles.
You're just like a master disguise watching like business.
No.
What's
Bump it up to 80.
What's the attire? Do I have to be like business casual or can I just casual?
Business casual.
Tie?
We do like
You don't have to wear a
like-
tie, but something nice
Khakis.
enough, presentable.
Khakis
Nah.
and button up.
What
Yeah.
about jeans Fridays?
Yeah, yeah, sure. There's casual Fridays at the master disguise office.
Yeah, I'm still in on this. I think.
No, I'm in.
For some reason, The Office in my head would make it easier because then I have less distractions. At home, I think it would be harder.
Like, imagine, like,
Yeah.
your boss walking up to you. Imagine Office Space, where, like, Bill Lumbergh walks up to you. He's like, yeah, hi. We noticed that you weren't watching Master Disguise quite enough today.
Yeah.
Quite enough.
Yeah, I would do that. I don't think there's any doubt in my head that I would accept that.
No,
I would, but I would still hate it. That's like worse than data entry.
I mean, I
bumping
think
it up
that
to 80.
the I think the office setting actually makes it kind of better because
Yeah.
the idea of having to watch it at home, it's like there's no escape from it. I
Yeah.
can separate like my personal life from like the work life. I mean, it would
right,
still
like-
haunt me, but
When I go into work right now, I already want to blow my brains out. So, like, what difference does it make? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. That's
But
true.
the biggest problem is that like you're watching Master of Disguise and then you're just doing it 5 times in a row, back to back to back.
Every
And
day.
Otherwise, where it's like I'm at home, I could watch it like twice, go do something, come back, watch it 3 more times.
Because
Okay, so-
that's 25 viewings a week.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I would do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would, but it'd
Take-
be awful. I would hate it.
Yeah.
Every day I come home from work to the wife, like, oh man, they really ran us hard. Thought they were gonna make us watch it a 6th time.
but
It was a
Wait,
rough
Michael, when
one
does your
today.
school start? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. In like 2 weeks, about every day I question if I should show it to my students or not as a project.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say that since you have like 2 weeks, use one of the weeks to watch it 5 times a day and tell us how you feel after that.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that
have
is
to
one
go
of the
into work.
punishments.
I guess
That-
okay. So I have to go into work like every day up until now, but it's like the kids don't start until then.
So just watch it 5
Okay, well,
times.
just bring your laptop.
Yeah, there you go,
Yeah.
idiot. All right. Anyway, next to my notes. I don't know. I didn't write down a whole lot of times for my first viewing. I noticed a couple of thoughts I had. Why is Pistachio born with a bad accent?
Yeah, that always pissed me off too.
I think that's
It's
part of the
dumb.
disguise.
Oh, also, I thought of a solution to this movie. I fixed it.
Okay.
Like, so, you know, if you disguise yourself as someone, you have their, like, knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't he just
Mhm.
disguise himself as Fabrizio?
Oh
Huh.
my god.
Right?
Yeah.
The same. Okay. Yeah.
And then he would know where they were, where he was.
But it's the
and-
same-
Yeah, all of
reason.
that. Disguise himself as Bowman.
Yeah.
yeah, Bauman probably would be better. That'd be funny.
Like, I fixed it. Boom. Movie
Uh,
over. 5 minutes in. And what
I'm so
what a
mad
beautiful
right now.
5 minutes it was.
You know what? I mean, when he's right, he's right. I just.
No, it's like fucking like. So I started thinking about trying to poke holes into my own theory here. And what if now follow me on this one? What if you're not allowed to disguise yourself as a disguisee?
Okay, well then you can still do Bowman.
Yeah, I know, but I'm so like this is a, sort of like a thought that was born from that.
Huh.
Because
Well, no,
Like-
we know you can. Well, maybe because he disguises himself as Cherry Pie Man.
Well,
Cherry
yeah,
Pie
but
Man's not a
that's just-
disguisee. They're the opposites.
Yeah, that's like the lack of
sex-
disguise.
Yeah, but they have the Energico. You mean specifically disguising, not an Energico wielder?
I think so. Yeah, because the
Yeah.
Cherry Pie Men are the dark side of the Energico. And what if like you cannot disguise yourself as Energico person on the light side? Maybe like
That is
Energico
interesting.
comes with a form of like shield. I don't know.
it's like Force Lightning. You can't
It's
use
an
it as
interesting
a,
thought.
as a Jedi.
And like
Alright.
what even further? What if you try to disguise yourself as a disguisee in disguise?
Oh my god.
Think of
So like disguising yourself as Fabrizio disguised as Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, think about it. And then, like, there's already all these Oedipal things going on. Like, like you can't just disguise yourself as Fabrizio. That'd be a real problem.
You know what? Here, I got you. You just disguise yourself as like the Lunar Lander or the Liberty Bell. You're good.
Can you disguise yourself as? Oh, I guess you can disguise yourself as inanimate objects because of the cherry pie.
Yeah, they did cherry
did
pie.
the
They
also
did the
the-
tree.
and the tree. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the tree.
Yeah.
They did the statue that time. So
What
you
knowledge
could
do
definitely
those things
disguise
have?
yourself as the Liberty Bell, Dave.
Yeah.
What knowledge does that have, though?
I don't know. Like Jesse Ventura gets to hold you. I want to be
Yeah.
held by Jesse Ventura.
I
want
would
him to
too.
rock me to sleep
Actually,
like a
that sounds
baby.
really. That sounds
But it's
really
like-
nice.
It's like one of those scenarios where it's like I have no mouth, yet I must scream.
Yeah. What?
It's just
What?
dark and creepy.
I
You're just
don't
a
think it's
Liberty
like that
Bell.
at all,
What
but
the fuck are you saying?
You're a Liberty Bell. You can't experience anything besides nothingness.
Yeah, but wouldn't you become a sentient thing then, like the cherry pie or the statue or the tree?
I feel like
you become a human Liberty Bell.
yeah, but like what did the tree like what did the disguisee learn from the tree? I mean, they broke character and
Oh,
costume
like
when
the
they
knowledge.
jumped up and then run off. Yeah, you just
also
get
that
nothing.
shot lasts just a little bit too long.
Yeah, that
There's
was
so
a
many
little
shots that last.
The
too long.
shot where the tree gets up and walks away, like I feel like they just kind of let it go for like a couple seconds too
There's so many
long
shots
of just
like
the
that.
tree
There's
running
so
away.
many.
It's like
Yeah.
awkward. I don't know. I just noticed it. I even have it in my notes here. One thing that annoyed me, I noticed it on like my second viewing this month, and I've like thought about it every single time. When the grandpa shows up during the Exorcist scene, Pistachio goes, "It's been 23 years. How did you know I needed help?" And he goes, "That answer and more will become clear
Yeah,
shortly."
he
He never
answers
answers the
it.
question.
Yeah.
He never tells Pistachio that he is the cuteness,
Well, wasn't
And that leads me to have some thoughts about what is canon.
Was that in like the cut ending or
Yeah,
whatever?
it's in the cut ending.
Yeah, it's in the alternate ending. But so we have been talking about this as if the alternate ending and the George Bush thing are both canon. Can we establish that that is the case?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we are all on board for this. So that annoyed me. I wish the Abraham Lincoln scene would go way longer.
Okay, wait.
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
to go back to this cuteness thing. It is canon that he's the cuteness, though, right?
That's why I was
Yeah.
just making sure that we believe in both endings.
Okay. Well, because even if the other ending never existed, it's hinted at the end, like the final shot of the movie after the credits is.
He's got no more dog food.
No more dog food. Yeah.
Do you guys think that without that cut scene at our disposal, that we would have come to this conclusion?
I feel like we would kind of dance around it, and then like either Michael or I would like jokingly stab at it.
Yeah.
I think we would eventually get to it just because of that end credits tag, but I think it would have taken much, much longer.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree.
Yeah.
I think that'd be like some shit we'd be coming up with like now. And we'd all be like, this is the dumbest thing we've ever fucking said. But no, it's real.
Yeah. Cindy,
It's
what do you
very
think about the grandpa being the cuteness?
Yeah.
Are you?
It changed a lot. But like I said, anyway, the Abraham Lincoln scene needs to go way longer. I want that shit to go for like fucking 15 minutes. When he says "hit it, boys," I get transported. It is magical. Those moves that he is doing, I could watch that. I literally want to make a GIF of it and watch it for an hour on loop.
So another thing that I don't admit to people is that I currently am playing a lot of Fortnite, which is very embarrassing.
Fucking loser!
But in the Fortnite shop, there was a emote for "I like to move it," and I got it. So
there you go. Abraham Lincoln has changed you.
Abe
I
Lincoln
hope
skin
people
blend.
don't think less of me now that they know I play Fortnite.
Well, they think less of you because you've watched Master of Disguise like 85 times.
Cindy, hold on. Cindy, what makes you think less of me? The fact that I've watched the Master of Disguise 85 times, or that I played Fortnite enough to have finished the Battle Pass this season?
I think that those things are not exclusive to each other.
I think they feed into each other.
Yeah, like I feel like the Fortnite thing would not happen without Master Disguise, but also I feel like
okay.
Yeah.
But also I feel like if you played Fortnite, Master of Disguise would also come up eventually.
Yeah.
Wow. So
everyone who plays Fortnite eventually watches Master of Disguise.
Wow.
Nah, this is a very popular
There's
movie.
There's a connection there.
When Devlin Bowman goes, it's called The Perfect Crime. Ever heard of it? Heard of what?
That pisses me off. Yeah, that pisses me
Like,
off.
what? Why'd you say that, you fucking weirdo? When Pistachio's hanging off the lunar lander and the grandpa yells, "Use the Energico, Pistachio!" And Pistachio uses Energico to just pull his underwear out of his pants.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about that for a while, and I keep forgetting. I think that scene shows a denial of Energico.
What do you mean?
It's Pistachio going, I'm not doing this Energico nonsense. I need to get to my father on a personal level.
See,
I'm putting the underwear on my head. I don't need this right now. I need non-Energico related love.
I'm thinking it's actually the opposite, you know? Like, because, I mean, at the end of the movie, he gets crowned the Master of Disguise. So in that moment, he found the perfect disguise, the worst disguise.
No, I think it's like Star Wars, okay? We're going back to Star Wars again.
Okay.
Yoda in Empire is making fun of Luke, right? Like, oh, you need that silly lightsaber, pussy. But, so the lightsaber is like Energico in this case. And it's like, you know what? I don't need that. I'm going to use my powers.
Yeah, take it back to basics.
Yeah, take it back to basics. You don't need all that fancy bullshit. You need
So are you saying
basics.
that pulling your underwear out of your own ass is an ability you could do even without Energico?
I think Pistachio can. Because he's very skilled at that. I think that's just a skill he has because he's been putting underwear in his
That's
head
the
his whole
real
life.
talent.
Well, he's been doing it since he was a kid.
But
too.
I think that's the challenge to become the master of disguise. A master of disguise is knowing when not to have to rely on your powers.
Yes.
You're not a slave to your powers. You use them to your advantage when needed. Yes, as an extension.
That's kind of beautiful.
I think it is
smart.
beautiful. Sydney, you read a lot of books, right? That's something you can find in a great novel.
And a great novel! I like how big that was.
Yeah, I was going to say you made it sound so profound, but then I was like, wait, this is like an awful movie.
No, I think I was right.
Yeah, no, Michael's right. I found out that the UK version of this movie is vastly superior.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Why?
It's pretty crazy. So to avoid getting a 12A rating, they cut all headbutts out of the movie. So the UK version is 7 seconds shorter.
Yeah!
Oh.
Vastly superior.
Yeah.
We should have been watching the UK version this whole
Holy
time. We
shit.
could have saved
Hold on.
minutes.
What's 7 times 85? 595 seconds I could have saved. Oh my god.
Where am I
That's
at?
beautiful.
That's almost 10 minutes. That's almost 10 minutes.
Yeah, you could have saved almost 10 minutes this year. What would you have done with your 10 minutes?
Dude. Probably
I think I would have
Master
started
Disguise.
hiking.
Yeah.
Started hiking.
Well, I think I would have started a new hobby. I would have read more.
Yeah. I would have read the novelization of the Master Disguise.
We debate a lot about the best performance in this movie, whether it be Bowman or Trent. I'd like to throw in a new name in there, Slapping Dummy Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hold on. Like the little person inside
Yeah,
of
the
him?
puppeteer.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he rocks.
Little Mario-looking guy.
Yeah, why do you think they
Yeah.
dressed as Mario?
I don't know why he's just like Mario, but I love it. I love every second of that. And then even like the awful end credits thing where he's like, "Pistachio, I am sad." I love it. It's incredible. I think he deserves an Oscar, and I'm gonna get one for him, no matter what.
Well,
I'll give it up.
for me,
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say my favorite performance was like that waiter at Bowman's party that Pistachio's talking to.
Yeah.
And he just stands there looking miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That guy's-
he like
that guy's pretty great.
encapsulated so much.
Well, Cindy, you made a mistake there. That's not Pistachio talking to him. That's Mr. Peru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be an idiot.
And
He
don't
did
be
a
a fake
mountain
fan.
of cocaine before.
Well,
going into
at the
the
core, it is Pistachio, like past the energy go.
At the core, it's actually
Wow,
a cherry
wow.
seed, but
Making some interesting decisions here. But,
Listen, I try to listen to all the lore in your podcast, and I just could not keep up.
No, I don't
Yeah.
even keep up with it. I would never expect anyone
I have
to do
no
that.
idea what the lore is. I think I've repeated myself on here.
No,
coming
I'm
up with
sure
ideas.
we have. I don't
Oh,
like
yeah.
this is ridiculous. I listened to Papa Don't Preach by Madonna for the first time
Really?
because that's the song that he references
Yeah.
in that scene.
I thought
It's kind of good. It's kind of a banger. I can
Really?
see why moms everywhere love this.
Mom's everywhere.
It's
Some
alright.
some people thought it was like a anti-abortion song.
I don't know.
Is it?
Well, because the Madonna is singing as like someone who is pregnant, and like the father wants her to get rid of the pregnancy, essentially.
Oh.
But she decides that she wants to continue and keep it. But Madonna said that it's more of like, you can say it's more pro-choice because she's choosing to keep the pregnancy rather than like feeling pressured to get an abortion.
Whoa.
Did she say it in her fake British accent?
Yeah, was this? Yeah.
I don't know. Because I heard the line and I thought that's such a weird fucking line. What does this mean? So I looked it up and as soon as I heard it, and it was a Madonna thing, so I was just on the Wikipedia page reading about it.
Well, apparently they had to pay a lot of extra money to keep that line in the movie.
It really was not worth it.
No, not at all. Like, who even understands this reference?
No, it's a really like bad reference, even if you understand it.
No, it was a 20-year song when the movie came out. Like, it's weird.
Which, again, who's the audience for this fucking movie? It's obviously made for kids, but there's so many jokes that,
it's like kids and then, like, the parents watching with the kids.
They're like SpongeBob, then? Like, there's a...
Not even... Like, SpongeBob, like, makes jokes that the whole family can enjoy without referencing things that the parents would be into. Like, SpongeBob doesn't look at the camera and be like, hey, remember Meatloaf?
Remember Meatloaf?
Like that
remember
shit.
Bad Out of Hell?
Yeah, remember that? he do everything for love, but not that.
Yeah.
I had the most bizarre thing happen to me in my viewing today. During the Exorcist scene, I got the strongest sense of deja vu.
Well, yeah, what do you mean?
I know, which makes no sense.
It's like you can point out where.
Like, you know that feeling you get when you get deja vu? You're like, oh, I've done this before.
Like,
I did that, and I was like, of course I have. Like, I was like yelling at my own brain. I'm like, what am I, a fucking idiot? I watched it like 53 other times this year.
No shit, you're
like, what are you doing, brain? Why are you doing this?
And you know what? Even like, and it's also just a complete ripoff of The Exorcist, another movie you've seen multiple times.
Many times I've seen The Exorcist, and like, it's just so like, it's so stupid. I was just like mad at my own brain. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, is this what this movie has done to me? Where like it's like ingraining itself like into my subconscious. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I don't have any much more for my notes. I have one lore contribution.
Okay.
And it's building on a conversation that Michael and Alan had last month.
Uh-huh.
So Michael, you had a theory that the way that Sophia is the grandma is that
The Fountain of Youth?
The Fountain of Youth, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And that Bowman cucked the grandpa. He took
Correct.
Sophia away.
Okay.
Right.
And I kept thinking about that, and I was like, that's weird that Bowman would only use it on her.
Oh.
And then I thought of something. I'm like, what if Bowman is hundreds of years old?
Oh my god.
And he's been using the Fountain of Youth on himself. He's kept himself young, and which is why he's into antiques. He knows the 12th century Tuscan design because he was there.
Because he was there. Oh my god.
And I've got to take this one step further. I'm going to take this a couple steps further because I kept thinking about this, and I was thinking, it'd be very interesting if Bowman was the original Cherry Pie Man.
Whoa.
Huh. What do you mean?
I think that Bowman is the original Cherry Pie Man. I believe that...
So does Bowman have Energico abilities?
Yes, I believe that he... just like Alan suggested last month, that the Cherry Pie form is not a form that you can choose to take on. It's like a werewolf, where it happens to you like at certain times, like during a full moon, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked that, so I ran with it. But then I also had a theory that he is Barney's father. And
wouldn't he know? Wouldn't he know?
Yes,
Jennifer
I think that's why he knew who Jennifer Baker was in the mansion. She doesn't recognize him because he's done the Fountain of Youth so many times. He looks way younger, and that's why she doesn't like dating weird old guys. Because the last weird old guy she dated left her with a kid that he doesn't help her with.
Whoa!
Whoa! Huh?
And that's why his guards in the mansion knew what Cherry Pie Man was, because it was him changing.
Like sneaking back in?
No, he doesn't. He can't control himself when he's in that form.
So
it's like a werewolf.
Yeah. Whoa.
Huh.
This is really blowing my fucking mind.
Now, would you say, like, I mean, would you even give him a little bit of credit to say he's the original thief that the statue stabbed in the butt?
Why not? He could have been.
I mean,
What if that was Bowman in all of them? What if Bowman was George Washington?
What if Bowman was the boring Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah.
What?
Holy shit.
This
We just
changes a lot of things.
Fucking open. We just blew this movie wide open.
The eternal Bowman theory, I like to call it.
What is wrong with you people?
Sydney, what are you... Shut up!
Shut up, Dave! You shut your mouth! It's the 20th anniversary! I will not be spoken to that way! You piece of shit!
Sydney,
I have a whistle!
Sydney, back me up, please.
Sydney, be the tiebreaker here.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't totally paying attention.
Good! Good! That means that you agree with everything that I said.
No.
So let me just say, I got hung up on you saying that Bowman has been alive for thousands of years because he was able to recognize the Boxa nest as 12th century Tuscan. But then I just started thinking, I was like, if you have any background in any type of art history, which is something that I do have, you'd be able to recognize stuff, especially how he's a quote unquote rare art collector, which just essentially means you're a thief basically, but it's whatever.
No.
So
yeah, we know he's a thief because we saw him try to steal that thing when the statue stopped him.
Well, I know. I think it's more the sense of how they're saying anyone who is a rare art collector is a thief. You can think of all the museums have stolen artifacts from their native region.
Oh,
or how
hold on,
private art dealers and stuff.
An off-topic funny story. The local art museum by us, the Columbus Museum of Art, has this room full of old African artifacts, and in it they have a thing where you're supposed to answer a questionnaire that's do you think we should have these? Should we go back to Africa? And it's yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Bowman works at that museum.
Okay, so Sydney, I don't think this movie is trying to make a statement like that. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, that was what I was going to say, was that this movie's not smart enough to think of it. But I was just as someone who had an art history minor and had taken museum studies classes, I was like, oh, this is something one way you can interpret the movie. I said, actually, you can't. That was me, not the movie, that was putting in those ideas.
Now, is this movie not smart enough? Or is it disguised
are you
as
saying
intelligence?
that this movie isn't intelligent and trying to make messages? Because it is. It's very lazy.
Disguising its intelligence.
Yeah. I will say, the movie was briefly disguised as something intelligent, and then I realized it was not.
No. It's disguised as a dumb movie, but it's actually really smart.
You gotta keep watching.
Know. We've seen it,
so you don't know the depth that we have gone through. We know that this movie is incredible. This shit should be in the Criterion collection.
Listen, I didn't sell my soul to Dana Carvey, so I can't really comprehend the movie the way you guys do. But I will agree, since you're the experts.
No, I sold my soul to Brent Spiner. Oh, by the way, we didn't mention this. He tweeted at us today.
Yeah.
Brent
made
Spiner, Data, Devlin Bowman. We tweeted happy 20th anniversary to him, and we asked him what he thought of the movie 20 years on, and he replied to us. His exact quote was, "Every once in a while, a film comes along and elevates the entire cinematic art form. Master of Disguise is such a film."
Thanks, Mr. Spiner.
So that's
thanks, Mr.
Data.
Spiner. If you're listening right now, please come on the podcast.
Yeah, we love you, buddy.
Love you, bud.
You guys made fun of me a couple months ago when he liked a tweet from me, but now what? Now we're best friends with him.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. I'm willing.
I'm
willing to admit when I'm wrong.
Me and my boy Brent, we're gonna be bird dogging up and down the coast. But yeah, that was that is the end of my notes.
Bird dogging.
I believe Sydney is next.
Yes, please.
Yeah, take it.
So I'll start with a brief thesis I wrote because I was trying to compile all of my thoughts together.
No, I'm into this.
So yeah. So 5th century BCE philosopher Zeno proposed the Achilles and tortoise paradox. And so Zeno philosophized that Achilles could not beat a tortoise in a race if the tortoise was given a head start, because he will have to reach the tortoise starting point first while the tortoise has already moved ahead. Thus, when Achilles arrives at the same place that Taurus has been, he still has some distance to cover before he reaches the tortoise. This paradox is an ancient notion of infinity, where the distance between Achilles and the tortoise grows closer, but is never overlapped or completed. The Master of Disguise is about 65 minutes long, sans credits, but it certainly felt like the tortoise or turtle to my Achilles.
Whoa.
Jesus, okay, fuck.
I think Sin is too smart for us. You need to go away.
All right. That's episode 8, everyone. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, that was probably the smartest thing that has been said on this podcast.
By a good mile.
That was wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
I want to get that tattooed across my wrist. That whole entire feet.
You got a whistle from me.
Yeah.
I promise I'm not gonna have this whistle next episode. By the way, I'm just playing with it too much.
Please do not.
So I was just gonna give like a. I was just gonna give like a brief background of like how I was trying to like, I guess, like watch the movie. So I had an English literature major, and I did take film classes because some of them were included with my major. And we just kind of watched the like different movies through like specific like lenses and theories. So, you know, looking at one movie as like a gender performance, or looking at another movie through like kind of like a Marxist view, or like whatever. So I was like trying to do that with this movie. And this is like when I had like my meltdown, because I realized I literally could not cling to anything for it to make any coherent sense with any of these theories I've come across. So I like, you know, I'm probably gonna repeat stuff that like you guys have said, so please like bear with me.
No, that's fine.
So the first thing that I really noticed was kind of like the mise-en-scene in the movie, and like, you know, all like the setting and like the props that were used, and they are really bad, but there also was like a sense where it kind of felt like almost like pushing daisies in a way, like, you know, that kind of like, you know, like that kind of thing where, and like I don't know how to describe it, because like Pushing Daisies is obviously so much better and it looks better, but there were just scenes like specifically when they were like outside in like kind of like that neighborhood where it just kind of felt like that.
Okay, so do you think the movie intentionally looks bad, or it just looks bad?
So I think they were trying to go for some type of almost like some type of style that could fit within kind of like that genre of like comedy. Like, so you can even say kind of like Toontown-esque, but they just failed miserably.
No, because the Pushing Daisies comparison actually makes a lot of sense, because that whole show like almost looks very like picturesque, like on purpose, like almost like it almost looks like an old like commercial trying to like portray the perfect world. But like, I don't think that Master of Disguise is doing that on purpose. I don't think that that's a stylistic choice. I think it looks very cartoony and like too clean because they didn't populate it enough with things.
And they didn't know what they were doing.
Like, well, it's even weirder because the director, Perry, is a production designer. And
right, but he'd never been a director before. You know what I mean?
No, and like whoever he hired to do the production design didn't do that great of a job. I would say a bad job even.
Yeah, I actually looked up. Yeah, I actually looked up the guy that did the production design because you mentioned it in the last episode talking about that, or like some episodes before. So I was really curious about who actually had control of like design production, and I looked it up and on like IMDb or whatever, and the guy actually like worked on some like pretty big films later. Like he was on like Hunger Games, Catching Fire and stuff, which I thought,
wow,
those are pretty good looking movies.
Those movies look
That's like the only
I'm
good
not
thing
even
about
that crazy about them, but they look great.
Yeah, no, like I don't remember anything else because that one just really stuck out to me. Because like, how would you go from like this to this? Because he also worked on Jack and Jill, I think, too.
Oh.
Or, you know, and like I think I don't know if he did Grown Ups or something. He did like a bunch of like Adam Sandler productions, but then he did like Hunger Games, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's weird because Hunger Games is so stylized. Hunger Games is like incredibly stylized.
Yeah, like I don't think he was like the lead in like production design, but he was like working on it and stuff, and like had I forget, but it was like he had a role in it that I felt like to me that was kind of important. So I was just very surprised by seeing his later credits when this one was so shit.
Yeah, well, good for that guy, I guess.
Yeah, way to move up.
Because we've talked a lot of shit about his work in this particular movie, but if he did better things, good for him.
He's really fucking sucked this time.
So I also in my notes wrote metaphor for queerness, but I don't know where I was going with for that.
I've done that before.
Yeah. Like, I think I was trying to make a point, and then I just never got there because the movie derailed me.
Well, let's try this right now. So, it's the disguise. Is the disguise the metaphor for like being in the closet, not being?
I got it. Okay, Fabrizio was a gay man. We already established that he had sex with Bowman, right?
Yeah.
At the beginning of the movie. So, after that terrible incident, he was like, "This is no life for my son. I'm just gonna play full straight from now on. I'm not escapading around as a gay man anymore." You know.
So he wasn't being true to himself.
Right, but then, you know, Pistachios. Oh God. Pistachios transforming into Master of Disguise is him coming to terms with his sexuality.
So, so we've used the like Master Disguise, like Energico thing, as sort of a metaphor for a religious upbringing before.
Yeah.
But this might even fit a little bit better. So you're saying that like the metaphor here is like being a Master Disguise, being Energico is like
being gay
loosely represented as like being queer or gay or just like anything that's not cis or straight. And being a Master Disguise represents so okay, I'm trying to make this work in my head.
Well,
so Fabrizio denied it, and he's like, I'm keeping my son out of this queer lifestyle. We're not going to do this. And the grandpa's like, no, you have to be yourself and let your son be yourself. And then the movie's arc is Fabrizio learning to accept who he is and who his son is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, jumping off of that, do you think Pistachio is a top or bottom?
Well,
Dave, you're
since he's a
man.
Master of Disguise, I feel like he could do both, you know?
Yeah,
he's
verse.
See,
okay, Dave, he's a verse.
Yeah, he's a verse.
Yeah, he could be disguised as a top, or he can be disguised as a bottom.
Which of his disguises are tops and which are bottoms?
All right, well, let's start at the beginning.
Let's go disguise by disguise and decide how this would work in a gay sex scenario. Go.
Constable Mueller is a top.
Everyone knows
like,
I would say bottom.
How weird is he?
Away. And surprisingly, Mr. Peru, bottom.
Huge bottom. Huge fucking
power bottom.
I feel like crap. I totally forgot his name. Thank God.
Quint?
No, not Quint. Prince Lalijama. That's it.
Oh.
I always forget his name as well because I don't like to think about him.
Dave, we don't bring up that scene on this podcast.
Would they snake charm my dick?
All right, I'm back in. Dave won me over. But Sydney, do not feel bad for that. All of us have just like written down notes that were like, I don't know where I was going with that, but
I think one of them was like, this movie's about Marxism, and then I like had to
the class struggle,
or like this movie is about class struggle. I think that's what it was.
It was like classist, and I think we eventually justified it.
Yeah. No,
I think it was because like we were thinking about the workers at the restaurant, how they just like did
and like how Jennifer is treated.
Yeah, the working class is treated like shit in this movie.
Yeah.
Sydney, so do you think that answers do you think that answers this movie is a queer metaphor?
Yeah, I mean, I was also thinking it in the sense of how, with like Master of Disguise, they were not just like disguising themselves as men. Like if you like, you know, interpret Fabrizio and like Pistachio being like assigned male at birth and still identifying it with it later, because you know Fabrizio was like was Boderic and probably had a sexual relationship with Bowman.
Right.
And then you know,
so the gender fluidity is part of this.
Or like just kind of like the like not to like write fan fiction for like the Master of Disguise, but maybe
about?
like for
That's all we do. That's all
Yeah,
this
well,
podcast
this is it.
No. We
podcast
talk
reason.
facts. We talk fact fiction.
We talk
Okay, like, so, like-
fact.
So, like, one of my, I guess you could say, like, theories for, like, this interpretation is that Fabrizio could not be with Bowman as, like, a cis male because he didn't feel comfortable with his, like, queerness. So that's why he had to be Bo Derek.
That is good. Cindy, you are bringing a level of intelligence to this podcast that we were not prepared for.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
another layer deep that I am ready for.
You know, what's even funnier is, not to spoil anything, but knowing who I think our next month's guest is, it's like the exact opposite.
He's gonna listen to this and be very mad at you.
I told this to Michael, but like one of like the best papers I wrote for like one of my classes was I was explaining how Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle is like one of the best representations of like Asians.
I love
and like
that
how
movie.
like
Yeah.
yeah, and then also it was like how like it was, you know, like what it means for like the community and like what does it mean to be like a perpetual outsider and like, you know, the family traditions and stuff. So like I really like looking at like, you know, movies that are not often perceived as well and finding very deep meaning in it. But I was very much struggling with this movie, so I appreciate everyone else's,
difference
you know,
between
input.
this movie and Harold and Kumar is that Harold and Kumar rocks.
It's funny. Yeah, Harold and
Yeah.
It's an actually good
And
movie.
like is actually well thought out,
Yeah.
much more thought out than it has any right to be, considering like the genre it sits within. But
Yeah.
the Master of Disguise just isn't that.
Yeah, no.
It's just bad.
I was okay. Oh yeah, so just very brief, I felt like that the movie was like a bunch of like SNL skits that were just stitched
Yeah.
together.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah,
when I-
get that.
Like when I first saw the movie, like, you know, there was like it's very easy to make me laugh. Like not that I thought the movie was funny, but I would still laugh at things that were happening like the first time I saw it. So there were scenes that I felt like, oh, this is kind of funny if you take it out of the context of the movie.
Yeah.
But then like as like, you know, as like a whole, it just was not working out, which I think is one of the reasons I thought it was so bad. And then I also really thought that the background comments were so much better than like anything the main characters were saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm with you that like a lot of the like the little things you hear in the background that I'm not even sure like why they're there make me laugh so hard. Like ever since I think it was like episode 4, our friend Christian was on, and he pointed out in the Gammy Num Num scene that you could just hear someone like saying under their breath going, "What?"
Yeah.
What?
I hear it every time now,
It's so
and it
funny.
makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
What?
Or like I love the should have gone to Burger King.
It
Yeah,
should've
the
been-
Texans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, it's not the Texans.
I
it's
still
the
like-
The
people-
Texans were there's the people who spilled spaghetti onto
Spaghetti.
that.
Oh, yeah.
I like the not the spaghetti. I like the Scooby Doo line a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah.
Where the
I'm
two
telling
henchmen
you,
walk
Yeah.
up the stairs.
real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looks so
What do you
real.
mean? It looks so real. Yeah.
Yeah, because like also some of these things I did not hear until you guys mentioned it, and that's like
Yeah.
when so like the next watch I kind of enjoyed it a little bit because I got to pay attention for like all those like little great bits that you know were squeezed in between everything else.
See, that's what the podcast is for.
Mm-hmm. Like you guys really
Is it?
noticed stuff that brought it together. I think so. I mean, I feel like you're doing like, you know, this is like a public service you're providing.
So are you saying that we are doing good PR for the Master of Disguise? Because I don't believe we are. Well, all we do is talk shit
No, but I
about
think
it.
no, like this is like, you know, you guys are kind of like Sisyphus. You're just constantly pushing that boulder up a hill. And we don't have to push that boulder. You do it for us and then you tell us about it.
Didn't Alan compare Michael to Sisyphus last month? I'm pretty sure there's a second month in a row.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
Reference.
That's
See, we are classy. We're smart.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mythology.
Yeah, we know what's up.
And then
we know what's happening.
And then another part about the movie that I was kind of like looking at was that most stories tend to be like about integration back into like a community or society. So you have someone that starts off as like some type of social outcast in one way, shape, or form, and then by the end of the movie, they're like accepted by everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that with Pistachio, where he's like kind of this loser, and then he kind of you could say develops more through like through and then like becomes a master of disguise, gets the girl, like is reunited with his entire family. But at the same time, I feel like Jennifer actually had like an opposite
for sure
version of that, where because she was the straight man, as you guys have said, and she kind of felt that way, like she felt like the only normal person in like the entire movie. But then she kind of slowly descends into like this absurdity.
Yeah.
It's the worst
not necessarily
so bad.
Yeah,
when she switches sides, it's the worst scene in the movie.
Yeah, no, it was very disappointing. I had so much hope for her.
She deserves better.
Another
like,
thing,
genuinely, like from like, for obviously this is like Pistachio's story, so it's supposed to be like a happy ending. But for Jennifer, this is very sad.
Yes,
it is.
There's a lot of just random crap happening to her.
Like she does not deserve what happens to her in this movie.
No, she really doesn't. I'm trying to think. I made this comment to Michael, but I said that I liked how like half of like the rare items were like that they classified them as rare items rather than like kind of like priceless historical artifacts.
Yeah, like and not just rare, like literally one of a kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like also like I also thought it was funny. Well, this to me kind of went into kind of like the like kind of stolen art thing, because they say that they kind of declare all of these like rare objects as like American, but when you go and you look at what Bowman is showing to their people, or they selling on like Black Mart or Black E-Mart or what's it called?
Black Market eBay.
Black Market eBay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Black Market eBay. A lot, like over half of it is not like American in origin. Like there's like the Mona Lisa, there's like an Easter Island head, there's like Japanese armor and stuff, and like food dogs and whatnot. He had like the Venus de Milo and things. And I was like, that's not really American, but Americans sometimes think about all that stuff that's like in like the Western world as being theirs, or like in lands that have already been colonized or like by Americans.
Yeah.
Okay. This is getting
I'm sorry.
I think this was needed, because this has really shown me how stupid I am.
No,
I mean,
what? I disagree with all that. It's all American. Fuck off.
Honestly.
The fucking Mona Lisa, that was painted by George Bush.
You're making me question my like biases now. Like, why didn't I notice that? I've seen this movie 85 times and I never noticed that.
What? No, we
it's probably because you're
white.
white.
All American things.
It's probably because. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. All right.
Oh, just so everyone knows, I'm not white. I'm half Asian, half white.
So she can talk about this with authority when.
Yeah, so I can fall under the person of color category.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at like some point I was just kind of like losing my mind taking notes, like so. I was like, I kept trying to figure out why Bowman got arrested at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I could not figure it out.
Don't worry, we figured it out for you.
Yeah, and then I was also wondering how long they had the cuteness, because I was trying to think of like the lifespan of a dog. And so how long have they had the dog?
In the deleted scene, they're like, you were our beloved family dog for 23 years. He's like, yeah, I was.
Oh, okay. All right, I didn't catch that because
dog of all time,
and he's like still spry. He can skateboard still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, so
when your dog skateboards.
I guess at that point, then like if the cuteness has been around for 23 years, then Devlin Bowman's been in prison for 20. He was out for like 6 years before he came after Fabrizio.
I tried to look up crimes that would put you in jail or in prison for 20 years, and I couldn't really get like a consistent answer, because it's like different, like in different states, and obviously they were in Italy.
Because he was hiding Jim Jones and his compound.
And then the whole Jim Jones overdramatic thing happened, and
that whole like overblown thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, well, also I just had this is like when I was starting to have like a breakdown because I was actually wondering how old Pistachio is because they say that 23 years have passed, but they don't say that Pistachio is 23 years old.
I guess that he isn't 23 because we don't know how old his son is at the beginning. I guess
he's
right.
anywhere between like
23
to 30.
I think 23 to 30 is a good range for it.
Mm-hmm. Because I was also thinking of it. This kind of goes into like lore and stuff, but I was thinking that maybe like Masters of Disguise can only have like sons or something. So Fabrizio knew he was going to have a son, and regardless of whether Pistachio was actually there or not.
It's a very patriarchal family.
Yeah, and
so you're
then
saying
I had a weird.
Pistachio could be even younger than 23 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I watched it, I genuinely thought that this was like some kid or something, like fresh out of high school, just by the way he acted, not because of how he looked. Because
he does go to really old. He goes to a bar. He meets Sophia at a bar, so he's 21
at least. I say the 23 mark is supposed to indicate his age. I think that's what they were trying to indicate anyway.
Well, because then I started going to weird places where I'm like, was Fabrizio pregnant with Pistachio, and Bowman's actually his father?
Bowman's the dad of Barney and Pistachio, and they're half brothers.
Holy shit!
So that's when they.
Much sense. Sydney, we were praising you for being smart a second ago, and you just went right down to our level.
Yeah,
in this theory. Barney and Pistachio are brothers, and Pistachio becomes Barney's stepdad.
Yeah, that's not illegal.
It's not illegal.
Okay.
Well, it's not.
It feels
that's not blood relations.
Yeah.
Stepdad.
It almost feels like Oedipus or something.
Yeah, it sounds like an Adult Swim show. Stepdad brother.
I am with this theory. Sydney,
I am too. This is
a
great.
Beautiful thing today.
Thank you. And then this is why I really started losing my mind after I had that thought, because I was convinced that they were trying to reference The Godfather in this movie. So I spent 2 hours researching Cars.
What?
Because the scene where Fabrizio gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
There's like the car that pulls up, and I thought that was the car where, and like in The Godfather, where like they have that kind of like iconic line, like leave the guns, take the cannoli.
Yeah.
And so I thought that they were also referencing that with like in the movie because the cannolis are left behind, and so I was like, is this the same car that was in like The Godfather? So I was just looking up all these things because I was just like, it has to be this car. I know it is. It looks like it. It's not.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It was interesting because I found out that they do have a Piaggio Vespa in The Godfather, and not The Godfather, The Master of Disguise. But they did not have the same car.
Yeah, that's
I'm trying to think.
How did you find out that was the car? Like, did you just look up car models and like matched it, or?
Yeah, so I was like desperately trying to get like better like views of like if what's the thing called, like where it has like the make model. I was trying to see like if I could get like a better like view of that, and then I also was able to find like what cars were used in The Godfather, and then I eventually found the vehicles that were used in The Master of Disguise.
Well,
you are talking to the wrong people for that. I know nothing about cars.
Wait, you found the
list? I don't know anything about cars either. I was just like, I lost my mind and I was trying to desperately connect these things.
Yeah, well, we can make it canon if we want.
No, it's okay.
If you want us to, we could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll shoehorn this in. Look, we've got the energy go level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We are turtle enough for the
Think about it and get back to us. You don't have to answer right now.
Mm-hmm. All right. I also wrote a little thing about how The Master of Disguise is actually like an immigrant narrative, where I said Fabrizio abandoned disguising traditions to protect his son when they went to America. I said it's kind of analogous to like immigrant parents not teaching their children like their own like native language or cultures. and then how he opened an Italian restaurant, which makes it like a quite literal, like, you know, digestible version of his culture that, you know, is fit for mainstream Americans. And then I also said Master of Disguise era Mafia ? Illegal jobs to support family. I really don't know where I was going with that.
I'm really on board with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with this.
All right, thank you for putting up with me. And then, okay, so the other thing that this is actually something I thought was really interesting. How they actually had like a motif for Bowman, and that was whenever, like, before he'd always come on, you'd always see him like smoking a cigar. But also everything about him is blue. So he's always where it has like blue lighting in like every scene that he's in.
Yeah, his eyes look really blue.
Yeah,
always.
the eyes are really blue.
Yeah. Which I thought was interesting because at the beginning of the movie they contrast it with Pistachio, who's normally in like very like warm colors and specifically red.
Yeah, green.
Yeah.
So
it's another Star Wars reference.
Yeah, it is.
Except
and
that
then,
would cast the disguises as the bad guys.
Oh my god.
Oh, true.
Oh
Dun,
no.
dun, dun.
What a twist.
The only like character development that I really saw was actually through like Pistachio's clothes. He wore like a lot of really like bright like clothes at the beginning, but then when he like officially becomes like a master of disguise, he's kind of dressed like Steve Jobs with his father and his grandfather, where it's kind of like so it's like you're kind of like shedding childhood to become an adult.
Wait. What kind of neck was it?
Turtleneck. Oh my god.
Holy shit! It all comes around.
I've actually got something for that right there. The underneath all of the human disguise clothing is just the default black pants, black belt, black turtleneck. That's like their overall disguise, because every time there's a tearaway scene, they take it off onto that.
Disguises.
Yeah.
So when they change disguises, they don't get naked. They have the black turtleneck look.
No, they're never nudes.
Yeah. Thank you.
I also have a note. I also have a note that says, "Is he named Pistachio because he's nuts?"
That pisses me off. It's taking this long to realize that, because that's like right there, fucking.
That's right comedy. How do we miss that?
And then the last thing I actually have is like more lore. Like in the brown face scene, there's like the statue behind the Pistachio, and it has like the glowing red eyes.
Yeah.
So I was like, was looking at it, and I was like, oh, like, I wonder like what like kind of like a Hindu deity it was. And I also was thinking maybe that you see the statue in a later scene, but the eyes aren't glowing, so it was only glowing when Pistachio was interacting with Energico.
Ooh.
So I was like, maybe Energico is actually from India, or like originates in India, because there's this thing that they have. So I think that the statue was one of what was it, Vishnu, who's like a god of
back there.
who's like a god of like goodness and like preservation. But there's also a dark side where it's about darkness and destruction, and that's Shiva.
Ooh.
So I was like, oh, the light and dark side of Energico. And then I've also had another major in classics. So I went back and I read this thing called the Dionysica, I think. And basically it's a story about how Dionysus goes to India, essentially, after he dies and whatnot. But he gives the Indian people wine. So I thought maybe because he gave them wine, Vishnu gave him Energico. He went back to Greece, but then the Greeks eventually kind of colonized the Italian peninsula at one point.
Right.
I like that as the origins of Energico.
And then you know what? I'm gonna have to be the one to say it. If Energico originated in India, that means Pistachio has Indian in him, and he's allowed to do the brown face.
Well, I mean that. Okay, well,
I don't. I'm not sure about that.
Well, listen, he's not. I didn't say that he's Indian. I just said Energico is Indian.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if statue is even 1/1000th Indian, he can do whatever he wants.
One.
That scene still sometimes
It's
surprises me.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's coming,
so
but it
bad.
pops up and it's like, ah.
Yeah, it's so fucking bad.
It's real rough every time. After all these viewings, I still get like shocked by it.
Mm-hmm.
I still learn new stuff all the damn time, and I'm just confused why.
Earlier this year, I actually forgot about this. I need to follow up on it. My friend Manesh, he's from India. I met him in college. I texted him the picture of that statue in the background, and I'm like, "Hey, do you know anything about this?" And he goes, "Hold on, I'll ask my mom." And then he never got back to me.
What a
You think
jerk.
he's still asking her?
Yeah, they're still having that conversation. This was back in like February.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about it.
I will say I wasn't completely sure if it was Vishnu because this is getting way too academic, but typically a Hindu deity that is depicted like blue is like the goddess Kali or Kali.
Mm-hmm.
But also Vishnu is sometimes is depicted as like, having blue skin, but that's not always the case. But also he normally only has like 4 arms and not 6. I really couldn't find any deities that had like 6 arms in like the Hindu religion. But I was like, you know what? They didn't put that much thought into it, so I won't either. And the last thing I'll say is that I watched one of my watchings. During one of my watchings, I also had the January 6th hearings on.
Ooh.
So I decided that Rex and Trent and Sophia were all at the insurrection.
No,
I
So you
think-
know that
was.
Rex was.
Yeah, Rex actually was.
Yes.
yeah.
I also
But-
think that.
I don't know. I think Trent's a blue collar socialist. I'm just gonna say it. I think Trent's a blue collar.
Yeah, that's why he has a tight blue sweater.
Just saying.
There's literally a blue collar on that sweter.
Just
I wasn't
saying.
getting those vibes from him. I also feel
you
like.
don't know Trent like I know Trent. Me and him are cool.
You don't know my boy.
Yeah, I
Trent.
don't know him intimately.
Yeah, my man's a socialist.
I was just say Devlin Bowman became the My Pillow guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Lindell.
Yeah, and then I also think that Grandfather Disguisey and Gammy Num Nums were also at the insurrection.
Gammy was
Yeah.
100% there. Gammy was there
Mm.
10 times out of 10. She wouldn't miss
Yeah.
it for the world.
Gammy was the picture of that lady with like the walker,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and she's just like 80 years old, just looking around. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Just vibing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel it. Yeah, because I thought that the grandpa, he was not there intentionally for the insurrection. He went for like the Trump speech, but then like missed his bus, so he was just kind of hanging out. But Gammy Num Num went there to shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and God bless her for it.
No, she went there to hit on Mike Pence.
Yeah. Get a game on these num nums, Mr. Pence.
Yeah. And I think that's it. So thank you for putting up with me.
No, that was phenomenal.
It was not
I
being
think-
put up with.
I
That was
mean, yeah,
beautiful.
we did not put up. We learned.
Yeah.
We sat down and listened.
Yeah, I sat my white ass down and listened.
Oh my
Dave,
god.
I need you to go next.
Yeah, Dave.
Oh
you're
yeah. Okay. Mine's super short. This month, I kind of in the middle of moving from like the last 2 months. I didn't really get like a bunch of views in, but I did from last month's podcast listen to Alan on his recommendation for the Punishment Watch. So I did.
For context, Dave missed a week, and so he had to watch it on 1/3 speed.
Yes, I had to watch it at 1/3 speed. That was
It's about 4 hours long, if my memory is correct.
3 hours 45 minutes, just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Wait, did you have to do that every time you watched it, or just one watch?
Just
once.
one watch? Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that was weird. Like, I mean, just by default, it's gonna be weird, but there were a couple things that I noticed. But there is one specific part that I had never heard before that I actually did notice.
What?
The scene where Fabrizio asks, he's like, "You're not putting the disguise with the underwear on the head, right?"
Yeah.
He's like, "That would be crazy." And then before the door opens, you can hear shaving cream being like being used, and then the door opening sound.
Whoa.
And I only caught that during the slowdown.
Holy shit.
I don't think I ever caught that.
Yeah.
So he was putting on the beard like right before he walked in.
Yeah, literally like a second.
And honestly, the fact that he got it shaped that well,
yeah, fucking
that
kudos.
quickly, that's impressive.
Well,
I'm impressed.
he is a master of disguise.
He just didn't know it.
He didn't even know it yet, and he was.
Yeah.
Like, what's even more impressive is he doesn't even have any on like his hands or anywhere else besides his like chin.
Holy shit.
That's like a natural spray-on beard. That's how good he is.
He could really pull off the pistachio Bin Laden look immediately.
So the super long watch, could you still make out words at that slowness?
Yeah, everyone sounded like they were on. Everyone sounded like they were on fucking Xanax, like 5 or 6 bars each. So it was interesting to kind of like hear the dialogue go through, because it's like, okay, I already have all of this memorized, and I'm playing it at regular speed in my head. Yet every single time I have to just wait for this one scene to play out, I'm already like 3 or 4 ahead. Like the Turtle Club scene didn't end until 2 hours in. So I had to go 2 hours before the movie even got remotely good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Just I've written back through my notes. It's like every hour creeps by on eternal agony. I can't escape this temporary hell.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's just this dark kind of like schizophrenic nightmare that I'm living.
I really don't feel bad for you, Dave. I mean, if you didn't want stabbing, you should have just done your duties.
You know what? I did do this to myself. I just don't know how to feel about it, because like watching it, getting through it, and then getting to the end, it was this it's like almost 4 hours.
Was it a bad enough punishment?
Yes, because I watched all the way through the end credits too. I will not miss another viewing. I am not doing that again. Like, it was actually kind of creepy in parts.
I would imagine.
The one huge redeeming feature I will give though was all the music.
Yeah,
now,
I've messed with time on other viewings, and definitely.
Yeah. Now, as Master of Disguise fans, all of us, we're all huge fans of sludge metal. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sludge it up.
And honestly, I will give it. I will say during the cow pie disguise scene with like the garage band playing, I did slow it down to 6 times speed just to see if I can kind of sludge out the song.
Did it sludge up?
It's not bad. It's
Alvin
pretty
and
funny.
Chipmunk's sludge punk album.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get T-shirts for the Master of Sludge Fest 2002.
I would go.
Yeah, I'd go. That'd be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's it. Like,
something I need to point out, Dave.
Yeah.
This is just more of a question, I guess. Do you plan on picking up your watches in future months? Are you going to watch more?
Now, what are you digging at there?
Because and Eli can back me up on this. Eli and I both did not want to do this competition. Okay.
Yeah.
And Dave.
No, Michael. You were very much on top of this. You were into it as much as Dave was.
And Dave pushed it onto me. forcefully, and
No. You like
and
this.
hey, I'm sorry, I have the
this,
floor.
okay?
I have the floor, and he did a lot of shit talking. I remember getting actually a little genuinely mad at him because he would not stop shit talking. Because I kept being like, I don't know, or like, I don't know, this punishment seems too harsh, and he goes, "Well, you little baby, you can't do it. Just watch the movie."
It's Quib.
Yeah. Dave.
Dave has sucked with his viewings. I'm going to be honest. I'm 40 ahead of him. More,
So,
44
Okay,
ahead of him.
I'm gonna be a bit open about something that Dave and I talked about at the beginning of this, but it didn't pan out at all. So at the beginning, Dave and I were planning on to make you watch it more. We were thinking about like talking a bunch of shit and maybe even potentially, if you weren't watching it enough, like faking viewings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to do that. You fucking did it to yourself.
You dragged yourself to the mud and glass by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what? You fucking, like,
So,
like, you did it without even us having to, and you're
Yeah,
out here
here's
like,
the-
yeah,
here's
I
the
wasn't
fucking
into this
thing.
contest. It was all Dave.
Here's the thing, though. When I say something, I back it up. Dave has no backup.
now, no.
He's gonna easily finish in third place, and it's gonna be so fucking embarrassing when I am in first place, victorious.
Yeah,
Dave
no
will be
shit.
embarrassed.
Now, I want you to consider what the long con here was. Okay.
Don't try and act like
I've
you were
got
like.
I've
had
gotten
some
you to
grand
watch
scheme.
Master Disguise 85 times.
No.
I'm up
Don't
to
act like you had some
41.
grand scheme. Do not act like you had
Michael,
some grand scheme.
what are you talking about?
to
We
do.
literally, I just admitted we had a grand
We
scheme.
literally had the grand scheme. We just splayed it out to you, man.
I don't know.
Literally,
I don't know.
like
I don't
that
think I
shit
got played.
talking that Dave was doing, I think was to try to like push you to watch more.
I think
and I
Dave
think it
is hiding,
worked.
though.
I think Dave got
It
in your
worked.
head.
And the best
I don't
part
think
is,
so.
I got in both of your heads. I'm coming in. No. Like I'm coming in last place. Smooth, easy, moisturized, in my lane.
You're gonna have to
nice
watch
and
it
happy.
5 times in a day.
5 times in a day.
Oh no!
What?
You're up
Yeah,
10.
you're probably
You're up
just
10
fucking-
views on me. Plus,
Yeah, you'll probably miss that viewing too, fucking idiot.
I
You'll
need
miss
to
more viewings.
like. I either need to keep pace with Eli, or make sure that he stays at least 5 ahead of me. That's
Keep
all
pace
I
with me.
need to do.
You haven't kept pace with me.
Yeah, you haven't.
Yeah, look,
Michael,
it's-
you should be nicer.
Yeah, thank,
No,
Yeah.
thank you,
You
Sydney.
know what? Yeah, Michael.
Honestly.
Like-
I'm with Dave and Sydney.
No, because
now.
because I
Like-
brought something up, and no, don't even say it, because then it switched on
Michael,
me. And
Michael,
everyone
this is
was
why
being mean to
Emily's
me.
going to leave you.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah. Because the
Honestly,
Master Disguise.
Yeah, Master of Disguise. You're gonna hit that
Probably.
100th watch.
And no,
and she's gonna
I was
get-
being nice. It got flipped onto me, being like, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot. Go fuck yourself." No, I was. Alright.
Michael, you are a fucking idiot. That's just funny.
You're the one. You're up to 85 watches. You're the fucking idiot.
Yeah, and
Or is
I
he the
don't regret
smartest
it.
of all of us?
I don't regret it.
No, he's not.
Michael knows something that we don't.
I do.
They're the secret to giving yourself a friggin' tumor.
Yeah, honestly.
I feel like in the future,
I
like
know-
from this experience, you might be like immune to like some type of like psychic attack.
I think so.
Listen, I know
Like
I've
from
been
the
very
government or
wishy-washy in this
whatever.
conversation, but I'm Team Michael again.
Thank you.
I'm on whichever side is the funniest to be on.
Yeah. Wait, I don't want to be the funny side.
Too late. It's
Dave.
happened.
Dave, do you have anything else?
No, I would just like to say that I'm gonna smoke Michael in this competition, and you should probably get your watches up there, bud, because I'm creeping up.
Yeah,
Okay,
Michael, you fucker.
Okay, so I would say, just in general, I'm a pretty, empathetic guy. I feel bad for people. I
Dave's
don't
like,
like seeing. I don't like seeing my friends in pain. I don't.
You
like
beat me
causing
up
harm to
one
other
time.
people. Yeah, so I don't like being rude to other people. So after we had our discussion with Dave, and we gave him the punishment of watching at 1/3 speed, I felt pretty bad about it.
Oh my god,
Oh.
no.
No,
I thought to myself, who am I to judge Dave? He's had a lot going on in
Buddy.
June.
You didn't.
Hold on. He was moving. He was dealing with a lot of stress with that and with work. And so, I understand. I feel bad. So who am I to judge him? And I decided to watch the movie at 30% speed this month. 3% less than Dave did.
Oh.
And, I've messed with time before. I've gotten it down really low before. I've watched it at half speed. 30%, I think the lowest you can go without wanting to shoot yourself. I think that's
it just becomes this weird kind of like dark, viscous kind of slime that you're crawling through, this tar.
Yeah.
Michael, I was so proud of you this month. I was like, man, Michael did it. He didn't torture himself this time. He didn't do anything to make himself, want to die.
Yeah.
But here you are.
I didn't want Dave to go into this alone. I wanted him to know that he had a friend if he needed.
You know what, Michael? I really appreciate it. I don't like that you say we're friends, but I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so, and it's definitely not that I need to be able to claim I had the worst experience with this movie, and so I had to up Dave a little bit.
By 3%.
Yeah, so worse, pal.
Wow.
And, I just feel like this really just shows how good of a person I am.
If you're going to be that petty, why not just go for the 1% difference? Why not go 32%?
Because in VLC player, it was much easier to go to 30% than 32%. So that was the reason. But yeah, other than that, it's just like watching the movie doesn't really even feel like a movie anymore. Like, I know everything that's going to happen. It just like, I don't know. It just kind of
but that's just the thing. Everything kind of is happening so slowly that you're like, okay, I'm already like 2-3 scenes ahead, already knowing what's gonna happen. But oh shit, we're still stuck in this fucking
I fell
the first
asleep
kiss
at one
for
point.
20 minutes.
I fell asleep at one point and I woke up and I have no idea amount of time later and it was still Gammy Num Nums. So I had to rewind it because I felt bad for falling asleep.
That's
during
awful.
the best scene in the movie. You're right.
Michael, you didn't have to
bad.
tell us that part. You could have just like gotten away with that.
I know.
I know.
I
Michael, I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you as
just,
a person.
I would do it.
And you know what? I'm still gonna have the worst experience ever. So go to hell.
Yeah. It's not working on me this time, Dave.
Yeah, you say that. Wait until I watch the 1/4 speed. How about that?
Yeah, well.
It becomes a race to see who can watch it at the slowest speed. It's like, the version I just watched was 18 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, with bonus commentary.
Yeah. It's 18 hours, and also I listened to that sad, oh my god, what's that album that's supposed to make it seem like you have dementia?
Oh my god, yeah.
I don't know. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, there's an album that's very long that, like, listening to it is supposed to simulate, like, having
it's like
dementia.
6 hours long, yeah.
If you know what it is, and you email us the answer, I will personally send you a copy of The Master of Disguise.
I will tell you.
So basically, I watched
Club.
Master Disguise along with that album this time.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like, it's just an interesting time for me. It's not like, I don't know. I just feel nothing anymore. It's so like, I don't even know what to add to things. Like, it's like,
Everywhere at the End of Time. That's the name of the album. I remembered it.
Okay, sorry guys.
Hey, still email us. We're just still email us though, please.
Yeah, sorry.
Also, follow our Twitter. What's our Twitter called?
The Turtle Club.
It's Turtle Club Pod. Turtle Club Pod, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Turtle Club Pod.
Yeah, at Turtle Club Pod. Everyone go listen to it. Go follow us. We're good. We're good people. I swear.
I swear.
I don't know. It just, this movie is. I think I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just think these last couple months, I just like, what am I going to learn anymore? Like, I know this movie. I know this movie better than like most things in my life. So
that, I mean, I put that at the top of my notes, like all the way at the beginning. Like, Master of Disguise is easily the most movie I've ever watched, and on top of that, the most amount of like movies I've watched in a single year.
And I never put this much like thought into something before, which is really dumb. But like the amount of time I spend like thinking about this fucking lore, like not on episode or not on podcast, like it's embarrassing. Like
no, I'm with you on that.
You gotta separate it out. Like you pick up the movie, you open up the notes, and then you can start going into the lore.
It's hard. It's hard. I dream about it.
Yeah, no, the other night I woke up at like 6 a.m. to like go pee or something, and I went back to bed and I couldn't get to sleep because I was thinking about Master Disguise. And my wife, she wakes up and looks at me. She's like, "Why are you awake?" And then I started explaining the Master Disguise lore to her, and she got mad at me. She's like, "Oh, fuck off!" I was like, "What?" She's like, "Is this why you can't sleep?" I'm like, "So?"
Well, at least you have like new lore to share with her now.
Yeah, exactly.
New lore.
And she for some reason doesn't want to talk about it all the time with me.
For some reason.
I don't get it.
Like I don't even know. I'm not in like a good or a bad place with this movie. It's just like I don't know.
I'm definitely in a bad place.
I mean, I guess, but it's just like I don't like. It's like okay, I'm watching this movie. Like that's it.
I mean, I get it. Like not that I've watched it as many times as you, Michael, but like. After, like, I kind of, like, you know, after I got over, like, losing my mind and realized that I could not do what I wanted to do with this movie, I kind of ended up in, like, a weird, like, purgatory, like, limbo with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's fascinating that this movie was, like, so lacking in any sort of content. It's, like, it's so shallow that you couldn't even, like, as a joke, do a deep analysis on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it was just so vapid.
Like that says a lot. That genuinely says so much about this.
There's too many loose ends.
Like I honestly like think that we like obviously I think starting at like the second episode we had put more thought into this movie than anyone who worked on it.
Yes.
And now I think it's not only anyone who worked on it, just like anyone ever. Like I think we're very unique.
Do you think we came in like a little too hot and we burned out early?
I think there was a little bit of that. I think we were excited. I think early on we were very excited with episodes like 3 and 4 with Jacob and Christian. We came in really excited about some stuff. You know, there was some talk about a whole ass extra episode just about like lore stuff. That never happened. Yeah, like I think sometimes I think sometimes we overestimate ourselves, and I think that's okay that we're learning our limits. Like I thought. I mean, go ahead.
You could just think of this as like good experience for like the next time you do a podcast like this too. Like you learned from it, and like you could maybe learn how to schedule it differently in the future.
Well, and like we've talked about doing a season 2 of this next year.
With a different movie.
That's still not confirmed. We're gonna see how we're feeling.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards it.
Well, I mean. I was going to say in, like, was it 3 years? I think it was the 40th anniversary from, like, Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to know what you guys thought about that.
Maximum Overdrive. I just bought that on Blu-ray the other day.
No one can do Stephen King.
You bought it on Blu-ray?
Yeah.
No one can do Stephen King better than
like Stephen King. That's just facts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, bad movies are where it's at for me. So, like, me and Michael have mentioned this before, but me and Michael especially really love bad movies.
What? Yeah. Like, Eli and I the other night spent like 2.5 hours in Discord just watching like old 50s like classroom like
PSAs,
ads.
like bad shitty movies and just like random stuff. Like it is one of our favorite hobbies.
Yeah,
and this movie feels different than almost all of those that we like to watch.
It's like too like I don't even know how to describe it. It doesn't even feel like a movie. Like
no, because like okay, I'll watch some. Okay, let's say like a very popular example is say The Room.
Right.
Like that's very like surface level bad movie stuff, but like everyone knows it. So The Room is objectively just like a very very bad movie, but it is very entertaining. You can rewatch it a lot, because of just how interestingly bad it is. Like, it's bad in a very interesting way. But Master Disguise is not that. It's bad in, like, the worst possible way it could be bad. And the fact that it's just, like, a really out of, like, not very good studio movie. Like, I think this is just, like, a little bit weirder than the average, like, terrible Happy Madison movie.
Yeah.
And that makes it almost worse.
Mm-hmm. Because I was gonna say, I think one of the reasons why like, The Room is like enjoyable is that beyond the fact it's just such like a kind of like a weirdly bad movie, as you said, there is like a lot of not like a lot, but you could kind of make the argument that there is like internal conflict and like drama happening among the characters that actually drives like the story forward. And there's like none of that. Like Pistachio is just like an irredeemably like dumb main character that just doesn't change the entire time.
Yeah.
Well, like on top of the fact that, yeah.
I was just saying that like The Room is very compelling, and a lot of that is because of sort of the meta understanding. Like the story behind it is just as interesting as the story itself.
Yeah. And that's, like, this movie is like the opposite. This movie is like the most boring backstory. Even like the cool thing about 9/11 was like not even true.
Yeah, when you find it out, it's just mediocre.
It's like there's not like I don't know.
Sydney, did I interrupt you? Were you about to say something? I'm so sorry.
No, you're totally fine. I was just like thinking, like it just this movie, like The Master of Disguise, just really doesn't have like a story. Like if you kind of look at how like a story is structured.
Yeah.
No, and like the act structure doesn't apply to it. I think like the first act doesn't end until like the Turtle Club.
Yeah.
And that's like halfway through.
I mean, the call to action is with the grandpa coming to the house.
Yeah, but then okay, so like let's break down.
But no, the grandpa's I would say the grandpa's more of like the mentor figure.
Right. Yeah. So is the end
the call to action doesn't really. Yeah. I feel like the call to action just never really happened. It was just like okay.
Act
so this movie
starts
opens
with
a
training.
Prologue.
Yeah.
And then it goes into like learning about like Pistachio, like some backstory. He meets Barney, that kind of thing. Rex trips him. He has a talk with his dad, and then his dad gets kidnapped. And that is like, I could you argue that is sort of the call to action? Or is that like
all of that scene is, and then the grandpa describing what like it like needs to be done. All that.
And then there's a whole training sequence, but then the movie shifts drastically after the grandpa leaves.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because go ahead.
No, you can go. I was just I'll talk about it later. You keep going.
Okay, so I'm just trying to break down the act structure here. So then there's another like while of the movie where he goes to the Turtle Club, and then he's Gammy Num Num. Then he does the whole thing at the mansion.
That's all
which is the best part. And then like the third act is after Jennifer gets kidnapped. So like this movie has like 4 acts. 5 if you count the prologue.
Because it's like what's confusing is like you could say Act 1 or Act 2 starts with a training montage, or you could say it starts with the grandpa leaving in the cab. Like either of those are good like Act 2 starting points. So that's why like that training montage, just that whole middle part of the movie, for me at least, always like drags. I feel like because I guess it just paced so weird.
It's kind of just odd.
It's absolutely bizarre.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say that with the call to action, I guess the reason I felt like there wasn't any is because it just felt very like disingenuous, and this kind of goes back to how like there's like not really like any like there's not really any emotion in this film, like not to get deep, but Pistachio, he's like distressed that his mom and his dad have been kidnapped, but at the same time he's not like worrying about it at all. Once his like grandpa gets there, like he just is kind of like he doesn't seem troubled the entire time. So the call to action doesn't really exist for me, just because he was just like, he was just kind of going with it. Like he wasn't being the active person in the story.
He's just sort of rolling with like everything that's happened.
With the hero's journey, isn't part of that like the hero has to sort of like turn it down at first?
Yeah,
like,
he rejects
it.
Yeah.
No.
It's what is it?
Immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the rejection of like the call or something.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're bringing the fucking hero's journey.
Yeah, Turtle Club goes deep.
Yeah,
It's like the ways that this movie is bad, is on every level.
And boring.
The deeper you analyze it, the worse it gets.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's
it really does.
No one will ever understand this movie as well as us.
It's kind of like the curse of knowledge, you know?
We are the martyrs. We've talked about how we're going to turn into martyrs, and I've fully subscribed to it.
I mean, I did watch Martyrs right when I was watching
Yeah,
these guys.
yeah, exactly. It started. That was the sign from
There's
God.
the sign.
Yeah, no, that's my notes, though. I didn't really have that much. I watched it on vacation, but that was just, like, on my phone, like, when we were chilling.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Let's get into that really quick before we go. But you took your first vacation ever.
Yeah, pretty much. We went to San Diego, and I just found, like, an hour and a half where, like, we had just gotten back from, like, a hike, and we weren't going to dinner for a little bit, so we were just chilling in the Airbnb, and I was like, I'll just watch it on my phone. But I put, like, my headphones in and everything, so Emily didn't know I was watching it.
Yeah, this is what prompted the conversation about, like, weird porn or master disguise.
Yeah.
Because you had to hide it. Does she know now? Did you tell her?
Probably, I mean, I don't think so, no. Maybe.
She listens to these, right?
I think. She says she does.
Well, she told me she was going to listen to my episode at least.
Nice.
Yeah, support.
Mm-hmm.
Our biggest fans.
So yeah, so now she's finding out right now that you lied to her on
I didn't
vacation.
lie. I didn't say I didn't watch it.
You lied.
I didn't lie.
You just didn't tell her.
I just didn't tell her.
Wow,
Are you afraid of her finding out?
Yeah.
Lying, buddy boy.
I would leave her for Jennifer Esposito.
Yeah.
That's just fair, though.
Yeah.
I would leave her for Gammy number.
I will take
Yeah.
Emily off your hands any day, Michael.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
gladly
I mean,
switch
you
teams
get,
for Gammy
give me Gammy Num Num and you got her.
Yeah, boom, trade.
Give me
So
the nums.
that is we could start winding up here.
Yeah.
Sydney, I want to thank you so very much for being
Yeah.
here.
Sydney, thank you for bringing a much-needed mental shot to the podcast.
Thank you
I
for
really enjoyed
having
the
me.
direction this episode went. It got a lot more intellectual than we're used to.
Yeah, it
and
was
I'm
really
just
good,
warning.
though.
I'm warning listeners. If you liked this, next episode is not going to be that.
No,
I
the
promise
next
you.
episode is going to be chaos.
It might be our most chaotic yet.
And that's
Cannot wait.
okay. I don't want to like call my shot here, but it might be one of the most chaotic episodes.
I think there's going to be arguments. I think there's going to be a lot of hot-blooded arguments in the next one.
Hell yeah.
And while this month's was very much intellectual and a lot of conversation and debate, and a little bit of argument, but not much. And next month's is going to be the exact opposite of that.
Yeah. I don't want our next guest to get mad at me, but, from what he's been telling us, it's not.
I'm with you. The things that he's mentioned so far.
He's not going to be bringing up, like Greek myth and how it relates to this movie.
I'm not gonna lie. This was like I feel really kind of re-energized, getting getting a more intelligent perspective on a lot of this because I mean, we're the Turtle Club. We kind of are like joking around to odds, bits, and ends, and then we'll get like one or two moments where it's like, oh, that was an actual smart thought. But to actually have kind of like an extended, intelligent conversation about this movie was interesting. It was an interesting change.
I know that I'm not too far gone.
But the podcast that started with the air horn.
The air horn, the whistle.
The whistle and the air horn that made half our listeners immediately turn this off.
Yeah, I'm editing it, so I will make sure that isn't awful for your ears.
It was awful for me.
Yeah, just the people in this call. And my cat was pretty pissed too when I did it. It wasn't well thought out. But it's 20 years, baby!
20 years, baby! We did it!
Happy
20
birthday,
years.
Master of Disguise!
Oh,
Yay.
boy.
All right, we're gonna go.
We're gonna
wait,
go.
you want to check the audio?
We have to say goodbye to the audience.
And thanks Sydney for her time.
Yeah.
Again.
So.
Well, can I say something first?
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just wanted to thank all of you for having me on the podcast. I was very honored when Michael asked me. I was kind of worried about how it's going to go because you've had really great guests and Alan, who was on before, was so funny, and I was worried that it would not be very enjoyable because I had a much more academic look at the movie.
No,
I'm glad that. Yes, I'm glad you guys appreciate it at least.
Also, remember, Alan is an enemy of the show. We cannot compliment him.
Yeah, and also, Alan works. We're gonna start watching Cat in the Hat this month too.
Well, let me just say that I was just happy Alan was funny because he said he was a comedian, so it would be disappointing if he was not.
Yes, that would have been sad.
Yeah, it's funny how much of an asshole he is, if that's what you mean.
I like this new animosity towards Alan for some reason.
Alan, I just want to say, Alan, I am so excited to be on your podcast. I'm just so... We're really much looking forward to it.
Was that supposed to sound genuine? That was very sarcastic. All right, anyway, okay, bye everybody.
Yes, bye.
Bye.
Thank you
and
again.
Fuck
bye.
Alan.
All right, all you turtos and turtettes, that's the show. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.